In Stoic Men Tribe today, we're diving into an important lesson, a moment of clarity, strength, and ancient wisdom. Let's break it down. 9 habits to win at life, every single day. 1. Wake up with purpose. Let's begin with the beginning, that sacred moment, before the world wakes up, before the noise, before the pressure, before the scroll, the moment your eyelids lift and your soul whispers. We're still here, that moment right there. That's your genesis. That's not just the start of a day. That's a divine invitation to step back into the arena. But here's the truth most people never learn. That moment is yours to waste, or yours to wield, and far too many waste it. They wake up exhausted, not because life is hard, but because their spirit is unanchored. They wake up reaching for dopamine, for distraction, for anything that keeps them from facing the stillness that would reveal the truth. The truth that they've been drifting, reacting, surviving. But not you, not anymore. Because you're not here to survive the day. You're here to command it. You're not just waking up, you're rising. And there's a difference. Waking up is what your body does. Rising is what your spirit decides. Rising means you don't stumble into your day like a passenger on someone else's ride. You take the wheel. You grip it with both hands. And you say, this life, this hour, this breath, it's mine to shape. Rising means you don't just check your phone. You check your pulse, your purpose, your priorities. You don't chase what's trending. You chase what's true. Because every day the world will try to assign you a role. It'll try to convince you you're behind, that you're not enough, that someone else is living the life you were supposed to have. But if you don't define yourself the moment you rise, the world will define you for its own convenience. So here's what I challenge you to do. When your feet hit the floor, don't move like a machine. Move like a soul with a mission. Move like someone who's not just here to exist, but to become. Look in the mirror. Not for validation, but for alignment. Look at yourself not as you were yesterday, but as you must be today to build the life that's calling your name. Ask yourself, not what's on my to-do list, but who do I need to become to be worthy of the vision I say I want? That question right there, it'll reshape your life. Because a day led by task lists will keep you busy. But a day led by identity will keep you grounded. You want clarity? Don't start with goals. Start with values. Start with purpose. Start with the why that makes discipline feel like devotion. Because when you wake up anchored in purpose, you don't scroll, you study. You don't drift, you direct. You don't chase, you create. You walk into your day like a general onto the battlefield. Not afraid of the fight, but ready for it. Grateful for it. Because you know every battle builds your backbone. Let me be real with you. The person who wakes up without purpose will always fall victim to distraction. But the person who wakes up with conviction, they bend reality. They move with unseen power. They become lightning in human form. Silent, sharp, unstoppable. So tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you answer a single email, before you give the world a piece of you, give yourself back to yourself. Sit, breathe. Speak to your soul like it's your most trusted ally and say, I'm not here by accident. I'm not here to drift. I'm not here to fit in, fold, or fade away. I'm here to rise, to build, to lead, to grow. And no matter what this day throws at me, I will meet it with fire. Because that energy, that intention, that is the true beginning of a winning day. If this hit your heart, don't let it fade. Leave a comment. Like it. Subscribe to the mission. Turn on the bell so you never miss another truth that calls you higher. This isn't just content, this is your calling. Let's walk this journey one purposeful sunrise at a time. Own the first hour. The first hour after you wake up is not just a routine, It's a sacred space. It's the soil where you plant the seeds of who you will be today. If you give that first hour to distraction, to noise, to comparison, to panic, then don't be surprised when the rest of your day feels scattered and hollow. But if you claim that hour as yours, if you make it intentional, disciplined, aligned, the day bends in your favor. So let the first hour be a ceremony, not a reaction, but a ritual. No phone, no email, no drama, just you, in control of your time, your breath, your direction. Start with stillness, because in stillness, the mind clears, the soul speaks, and you remember who you are without the noise of the world trying to tell you otherwise. Then move, stretch, sweat, walk. Let your body feel what it means to be alive. Don't ask your body to carry your dreams if you don't first take care of it. Then write. Dump your mind on paper. Journal your fears, your goals, your gratitude, your madness. Untangle your thoughts before they become your prison. Then feed your mind. A page, a quote, a lesson, a prayer. Read something that elevates your thinking. Because if your thoughts stay low, your life stays low. The first hour is where you take the wheel, before the world tries to grab it. And here's the truth most people miss. You don't need to control the entire day. You just need to control the beginning of it. Because when you begin with strength, presence, and clarity, you enter the battlefield of life already armored. That first hour is your fortress, your fuel, your foundation. So guard it like your legacy depends on it, because it does. 3. Do the hard things first. Let's be honest. Most people aren't lazy. They're just addicted to comfort. And comfort, it's seductive. It whispers in your ear, later, you've got time. You deserve a break. But what comfort doesn't tell you is that every time you choose ease over effort, a piece of your potential gets buried. Procrastination isn't just a bad habit. It's a silent betrayal. You know what needs to be done, but you turn your back on it. You know where your future is hiding, but you pretend not to look. And every delay becomes another link in the chain that keeps you stuck in place. So here's the habit. Do the hard thing first. Not after you have warmed up. Not once you feel ready. Not after one more scroll, one more snack, one more excuse. First. Because willpower is like a flame. It burns brightest in the morning. Before the world has a chance to dim it. Before the stress, the calls, the chaos. Strike early. Strike hard. Do the thing that makes your stomach tighten. The one you've been avoiding. Because behind that resistance, that's where your growth is hiding. Don't just train your bulls. Train your will. Train it to run toward pressure, to chase discomfort like it owes you something. Because every time you walk into the fire and don't flinch, every time you silence that voice that says quit, you don't just get stronger. You get more dangerous. And trust me, discipline in the morning is like armor for the afternoon. You get the win early and suddenly everything else feels lighter. You become the kind of person who gets things done. Not someday, today, before noon, before fear wakes up. So wake up, face the dragon, and slay it first. 4. Speak less. Observe more. The loudest person in the room is rarely the wisest. The ones who can't stop talking? They're often the ones trying the hardest to be heard, because deep down they're not listening to themselves. You don't need to shout your greatness. You don't need to explain your every move. You don't owe the world a constant performance. In fact, the more powerful you become, the more silent you grow. Why? Because presence speaks louder than volume. Because the ones who study the room, who read the silence between words, who catch the truth behind the eyes, they hold the real power. Let them talk. Let them boast. You just observe. Listen. Watch. Learn. Because when you speak less, you hear more. You catch what others miss. You start noticing patterns, weaknesses, fake smiles, real fear. And when the time comes to speak, you speak with precision, not noise. Impact, There's power in restraint. There's wisdom in watching. There's strategy in silence. Those who are always broadcasting their thoughts. They leave their intentions exposed. But the quiet ones, they move like shadows. They absorb everything. And when they act with devastating clarity. So train yourself to be less reactive. Don't rush to answer. Don't rush to prove. Let others feel the weight of your stillness. Because still waters run deep. And you're not here to impress. You're here to understand, to navigate, to evolve. You don't have to be loud to be unforgettable. Just move like someone who knows exactly who they are. And let your silence say what your words never could. 5. Protect your energy. You only get so much fire in a day. And if you're not careful, you'll burn it all on things that do nothing for your destiny. See, energy isn't just stamina. It's focus. It's clarity. It's emotional bandwidth. And if you give it away carelessly to gossip, to drama, to pointless debates, don't be surprised when you feel drained before noon. You don't have time to argue with people who have already decided they're not going to hear you. You don't have the capacity to entertain distractions that dress themselves up as obligations. You don't need to explain your standards to people who benefit from you not having any. So protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. There's nothing noble about being emotionally available to everyone. There's nothing wise about being endlessly accessible. And there is no honor in constantly pouring from your cup, just to keep others full while you're silently bleeding. Be selective with your circle. Be intentional with your space. Surround yourself with people who water your roots, not just pluck your petals. People who don't just take your time, but earn your trust. People who don't dim your light just because they're not ready to shine. Understand this. Not everyone deserves access to you. Your peace is not a public playground. Your mind is not a community bulletin board. Your soul is not for rent to the highest bidder. Learn to say no without guilt. Learn to disconnect without explaining. Learn to walk away, not out of anger, but out of self-respect. Because if you don't guard your energy, the world will devour it, and it won't even say thank you. So build boundaries like gates to a kingdom, not to shut people out, but to protect the treasure within. Your energy is your lifeblood, your direction, your fire. Guard it like your soul depends on it, because it does. 6. Be uncomfortable on purpose. You want to grow? Then you've got to bleed a little. You've got to sweat in places no one sees. You've got to do things that make your mind scream and your body resist. Because comfort will lie to you. It'll tell you you're okay right where you are, even when your soul is begging for more. Growth doesn't live in what's easy. It lives in the stretch, in the burn, in the silence after failure, when your only choice is to stand up again. So you've got to chase discomfort on purpose. You've got to put yourself in places that test your patience, that stretch your limits, that demand more than you think you have. Wake up earlier than your excuses. Take the cold shower not because it feels good, but because it trains your brain to obey your will, not your comfort. Say what needs to be said, not tomorrow, not when it's easier. Now rip the bandage off. Have the hard conversation. Speak your truth, even if your voice trembles. Try the thing you fear failing at, not because you're guaranteed to win, but because every time you do the thing you fear, the fear loses power, and you gain it. When you voluntarily walk into discomfort, you become immune to life's surprises. You become someone who doesn't break when life gets cruel, because you've already bled by choice. You've already trained your mind to keep walking through fire. Every moment you choose growth over comfort, you evolve. Every time you choose pain over procrastination, you rise. This isn't about being tough for show. It's about being strong for real. It's about being the kind of person who refuses to stay the same, even when staying the same is easier. It's about stepping into the storm and saying, if this is what it takes to level up, then bring it. You want transformation? Then own it. In the gym, in the mind, in the mirror, in every single uncomfortable moment you could have avoided, but didn't. Because in the end, discomfort isn't your enemy. It's your proving ground, and the ones who seek it on purpose, they don't just survive life, they conquer it. 7. Finish what you start. Anyone can start. Anyone can dream. Anyone can write the first sentence, take the first step, make the first promise. But finishing, that's a different kind of power. Finishing is what separates the hopeful from the disciplined, the talkers from the doers, the wishers from the warriors. See, unfinished goals are more than just loose ends. They're broken agreements, not with the world, but with yourself. And every time you leave something half done, every time you bail halfway through, you teach yourself a dangerous lesson, that your word doesn't matter, that your effort doesn't count, that you don't have to follow through when things get heavy. But here's the truth. You want real confidence? You want unshakable self-trust? Finish what you start. Close the loops. Tie the knots. Follow through. Not because it's convenient, but because you said you would. Start training your mind to equate identity with completion. I'm not someone who starts things. I'm someone who finishes things. Because momentum isn't built on intention. It's built on execution. It's built one completed task at a time. One promise honored. One goal nailed to the wall and done. You want to feel powerful? Then don't just make moves. Complete missions. If you open the book, finish the chapter. If you start the run, hit the finish line. If you say you're going to show up, don't make your future self clean up your mess. Do it tired. Do it scared. Do it imperfect. But do it. Because every time you complete what you committed to, you build something priceless. Integrity with yourself. And that's the kind of strength no one can steal. 8. Practice daily gratitude. Let me tell you something that most people overlook in the noise of their ambition. Gratitude isn't weakness. It's not soft. It's not naive. Gratitude is a discipline. It's a mindset forged in clarity and sealed in strength. Gratitude isn't about pretending everything's perfect. It's about refusing to let what's missing blind you to what's already here. It's the quiet rebellion against a world addicted to complaining. It's how you stay grounded when life tries to shake you loose. Because here's the truth. You woke up, you're already in the game. You're already blessed. The breath in your lungs is a second chance most people didn't get today. And if you don't recognize that, you'll walk around like life owes you something, when really it's been giving you something all along. Gratitude turns pressure into perspective. It turns scarcity into sufficiency. It turns chaos into clarity. And no, it won't erase your pain, but it will reframe it. It'll remind you that pain is proof you're still alive, still fighting, still becoming. Start your day not by listing what's missing, but by naming what remains. Because when you train your mind to see what's right, you become someone who can create more right. And the more grateful you are for the small things, the more powerful you become in the face of the big things. That doesn't mean you settle. It means you see clearly. It means you rise not out of desperation, but out of appreciation for what already is. Gratitude sharpens the mind, opens the heart, and turns ordinary moments into sacred ones. So write it down, speak it out, reflect on it until it becomes second nature. Gratitude is not something you feel when life is easy. It's something you practice when it's not. Because the person who learns to see the good, even when it hurts, even when it's dark, that person is unbreakable. 9. Sleep like you. Earned it. Don't stumble into bed like a runaway. Don't collapse into the mattress with guilt still circling your thoughts. End your day like a warrior returning from battle. Not perfect, but present. Not untouched, but undefeated. Because sleep isn't just physical rest. It's sacred closure. It's how you tell your soul, we did what we could today. And that's enough. Before you close your eyes, ask yourself, did I show up with fire? Did I move with discipline when distraction called my name? Did I speak truth when silence would have been easier? Did I resist the urge to fold, to flinch, to fake it? Because if you did, even in small, quiet, unseen ways, then you earned this rest. And that's the kind of sleep that restores you. Not the kind stolen from exhaustion, but the kind granted from honor. When your body is tired, but your spirit is clean. You don't need to win every fight in a day. You just need to fight. To show up and refuse to bow down to the weaker version of yourself. And when the lights go off, and the noise fades, and all that's left is your heartbeat and your breath, let it be a rhythm of peace, not regret. Turn off the world. Turn inward. Let your pillow hold the weight of your courage, and let your sleep be an offering to the part of you that tried. Because the warrior who gives their best doesn't fear rest. They honor it. They prepare in it. They rise from it. Stronger, wiser, sharper. Because even the fiercest lion must sleep. And not out of weakness, but because tomorrow there's more to conquer. So sleep not like you escaped the day, but like you earned the right to dream. Final thought. The daily war. You must win. Let this sink in. Winning at life is not about one big victory. It's not a moment of applause, a title, or a finish line. It's about what you do when no one's watching. It's about whether you can look at yourself in the mirror, raw, tired, honest, and respect the reflection. Because the real war, it's not out there. It's in your mind. It's in the choices you make when quitting is easier. It's in the temptations that look harmless, but eat away at your integrity one compromise at a time. You don't need to dominate the world. You need to master yourself. You need habits that harden your will, strengthen your spirit, and protect your peace. You need to win today, then win again tomorrow, and again, and again, until the days become weeks, the weeks become years, and your legacy writes itself in sweat and intention. No crown required, no stage needed, no applause necessary, because the loudest victories are silent, and the strongest people, they don't scream their power, they live it. So build the habits, forge the mindset, make your soul so steady that no betrayal, no loss, no storm can shatter it. Let your actions speak where your words once tried. Let your life prove what your lips no longer explain. You're not here to impress. You're here to evolve, to rise, to fight, to love, to become the kind of human even chaos bows to. So win today, not someday, today. And when the world asks how you did it, let your life answer, I never stopped showing up. If this resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.